Happy Devils Friday. This is the Woo Report. I am your host, Sam Woo, fulfilling your request. Fans all over want to hear me rant about the Pitt-I-Ful loss. Pitt-I-Ful loss. But before we begin this monologue, I have to talk in my NPR rant voice tonight for a variety of reasons. Number one, the Devils play tomorrow, and I'm saving my voice for tomorrow. And I will also say that this is really pathetic. This is not what we expected of this New Jersey Devils team. It's gotten so bad that I didn't even think about using my headset tonight because this will cover my face. Everybody knows that I'm a Devils fan, but right now, I'm just about to go to tomorrow's game with a paper bag over my head. It has gotten that bad. Losing 4-1 to the Penguins while their goaltender, Jarry, is in net is just unbelievable. And Taylor Hall scoring a goal, okay, that's great. Just to pad the stats a little bit. His third goal of the season. But I will say, Devils fans, it's getting to the point where fans are going to get restless. Fans are not going to be patient. And if this continues tomorrow against the Detroit Red Wings, where the Devils fall behind 3 or 4-0, let me just talk about a scenario that I think may happen tomorrow. The Devils get out. They come flat. Detroit's up 3-0 before the first period ends. And the boos are going to rain down. The frustration, I could just see it right now. It is not good. And if they win, it just prolongs the misery. This team is not very good. This team, just too many penalties. Too many stupid penalties for starters. The defense needs a lot of work. There's talent on that blue line, but they need a lot of work. Cheryl Miller writes, only going to a game tomorrow because she's got free tickets. Guess what, Cheryl? In full disclosure, same with me. I just got the tickets tonight from a good friend of mine. And Nico writes, false, the team is good. Hines is dragging these guys down so bad. You know what, Nico? I somewhat agree. I think everybody is dragging this team down. Coaching is the big issue, says Matt Junio in the Facebook Live. Look, I know what you're thinking. Part of you is thinking that little hope that this team could be the 2019-2020 version of last year's St. Louis Blues, where you start off the season terribly and then voila, they go on a magical run. But didn't St. Louis fire their coach as part of that process to make that miraculous comeback and storm into the playoffs and to beat the Boston Bruins in that Game 7 to win the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time after what Bobby Orr did to them for that many years? That's something that's not likely going to happen. But what if the Red Wings storm into the Prudential Center tomorrow and give us some more misery? This is a team that they should beat. I found out that I think Louis Domingue is starting tomorrow. He made his debut today. Is he going to be our savior like Keith Kincaid a couple years back? Who knows? But this team, and I agree with Justin Bacon, this team has no structure. This team is lost. I'm lost. You're lost. We're lost for words of what's going on right now. And for those that are tuning in, this is the Woo Report titled Pitt-I-Ful Loss. Lots of punny things in that pitiful spelled out on the graphic. It's 10:44 p.m. Eastern right now. After watching that game, it's not even Thanksgiving yet. This team is on the bottom. The bottom. Taylor Hall, re-signing Taylor Hall. The more losses that pile up, I think the less of a chance that's going to get done. Could Ray Shero trade him before the trade deadline to get some great picks and players back? Absolutely. I just think the fans have done their part, to be honest. The fans have done their part. I mean, we're just waiting for the Devils to finally break out. They just can't catch fire. They would go on a 2-game winning streak and then just boom, let down. It's just not fun, people. And then to add insult to injury, Lou Lamoriello, who left in 2015, anytime I look at the standings where my favorite team is in the basement, you see Lou Lamoriello lonely at the top. What is it? A 16-game point streak? 16 games, and it's not even Thanksgiving? Or, I apologize to the Canadian fans out there. the American Thanksgiving, they're patting on the points for playoff positioning, and they're going to the playoffs. I can almost guarantee that. But as I am talking to you in my NPR voice, as I'm saving my angry rant for tomorrow, potentially, I just can't believe this organization, the transformation since 2013 to what it is now. It's a lot different, Devils fans. This team has a lot of talent, but it has results of the Devils of old in the early 1980s. I do like some of the things I've seen, but what this team is lacking is consistency. Consistency on the power play, consistency on defense, consistency in keeping the lines together. Yeah. This Devils team is just, when are they going to break out? I don't know. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. A change needs to be made. Corey Schneider is now in Binghamton, quote unquote, getting some work. I mean, who are you fooling? Stacey White writes falling apart. I don't think it was. I mean, I'll tell you what. On opening night, on Jack Hughes' debut, the first two periods and a 4-0 lead vanished in a heartbeat. Michael Garone, Sam, just say, this is a disgrace. I'm saving my ammunition for tomorrow, Michael. The first two periods, I don't know about you. I got a little carried away. In my mind, I'm thinking Stanley Cup. I mean, the Corey was playing great the first two periods. And as soon as he cramped up and had to leave the game, so did the Devils. And it hasn't stopped since. What do we do as fans? How do we respond? On the Let's Go Devils podcast, State of the Fan Address, we speak our minds, but we try to keep it positive. And we should always encourage to promote what's right about being a Devils fan. But you know you're hitting this wall, and the temptation is there to be negative, to be destructive. I know people that when the Devils lose, they go outside and, hack a couple trees. Not naming names or anybody, but, it does happen. We get emotional. I mean, we are emotionally invested in this team. Why? We just love the New Jersey Devils. I don't know why I'm so passionate and so involved. I mean, heck, I'm doing a podcast and I should be in bed right now after watching that debacle so I could just sleep away pitiful team losing again. But there are no answers right now. And I think that's what the hard part is. There are no answers right now other than the nuclear option. What is that nuclear option? That's Ray Shiro to figure out. And you have to ask yourself, when is Ray Shiro going to be held accountable? What are the owners thinking right now? I mean, if I was the owner with for the Devils, I'd be speaking my mind, because this is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. And this is exactly what the Edmonton Oilers and their fans had to endure after all these first overall picks. So they made some changes. And ironically enough, they traded Taylor Hall away. Made the playoffs and had some disappointment, but they look like they're rocking and rolling this year. John B., I miss Lemaire and Robinson. Yes, I miss them too. Yes, I miss them. I miss them a lot. Structure, team concept, discipline, interchangeable parts. Do you remember those words? One player goes down, you just plug another one in. You're only as good as your weakest link. Remember that? How awesome those years were? So, on the Woo Report, it's really depressing. But if the fans are going to set example to the players, we will show up tomorrow night cheering for our team, rooting for our team, rooting this team to victory. But the reality is we're frustrated. And I'm going to cringe when I see that frustration if they're at any part losing or even dogging it, or if there's any lack of effort. Peter Jr. writes, Hines talk about brotherhood. His idea of family is dysfunctional. I would agree. I mean, my OCD of that brotherhood sign over the locker room it's just, it doesn't look right. It just kind of reminds me of the Holland Tunnel when they had those holiday Christmas decorations, above the toll booths, and it took one person online to complain about it, and it just went viral, and they actually did do something about it. They made the change, and then after they made the change at the Holland Tunnel going into New York, you're thinking, you know what? That guy was right, because I knew that something was bothering me this whole time. Mike Rose, Sam, did you see the reaction of the players on the post game? They are beaten men. I'm telling you right now, the Devils organization will never do this. And if they do, I'd be surprised, but it would be appreciative. They need me in that locker room. They need the energy of the fans right now. Losing is a very frustrating thing, but what comes with losing is lesson. And right now, they need to learn how to get themselves out of this hole immediately. If I was in that locker room, You could talk your X's and O's, but they just need to stop overthinking it. They need to go out there and stop worrying about the wins or losses. Stop worrying about pretty much all the technical things that go into hockey. They just need to go out there and have some fun. Skate as hard as you can. Fly. Crisp passes. Play smart. Play a simple game. Simple game doesn't mean you just play defensively. Get those pucks on net. Now, I did see the shot totals tonight. Not too bad. Not too bad. But you got to do better. You have to do better. Well, Tim Clark Callahan says makes a great point. I'll like that one. It's just not. It's not just losing; it's looking bad doing it. Yes, the optics look terrible, Tim. You're absolutely correct. The optics do look terrible. Just looking at the Facebook Live right now, which Ryan, I appreciate. I wasn't planning on doing a rant tonight, but I appreciate the encouragement because doing a rant is not a bad thing. But I want you guys to take a little lesson. I kind of went off tangent on the State of the Fan address because Nick Villano had asked me, what do you do when you're mad and you want to explode and stuff like that? And I said, well, I used to be a hothead. And then finally somebody just pulled me aside and told me, you've got energy like gasoline. Do you want to explode or do you want to do something with it and travel 60 miles from point A to point B to your destination? That resonated with me. And as fans, I don't want to take the emotion out of the game and how you feel, but I think we need to make an effort to cheer this team on because they're in a rut. And not because Taylor Hall was complaining that one time, because I don't think, it helped when, after, he scored, he did one of these. And Taylor, you shouldn't be doing that to the Devils fans, especially when you only have 3 goals and you're expecting a big contract next season. Sorry, I had to tell you that. We have a lot of people commenting in the Facebook Live right now. I wish the Devils players can see this. This is how passionate we are. It's like 11 p.m. Eastern on a Friday night. I could be doing anything else right now. I could be sleeping. I could be out with my friends. Could be having a late night, White Castle burger to wash down my sorrows. Comfort food right now is definitely, nothing beats White Castle at 2 a.m. in the morning in Jersey, right? That grease just hits the spot. And in full disclosure, White Castle did not pay me to do that, say that little promo. But yeah, who doesn't like White Castle at 2 a.m., whether you're on a diet or not? But yeah, this isn't good. This isn't good. As much as I want to scream at the top of my lungs right now, we have a game tomorrow. We have to forget about this loss. As fans, we got to come in with a good approach. Let's sleep it off. Let's keep it positive. Let's be classy about it. Let's just do our thing tomorrow at the game. I'll be there after my Penn State Nittany Lions take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Win or lose, I'll be there. I wasn't sure if I was going to be there. You know, for those that don't know me, I went to Penn State, diehard fan, just like any other Penn Stater. Great school, great academics, great sports program. But I'm really happy that I think if there's only in Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope, give me some likes. Give me some likes if you would agree. The only winners tonight are the ones that came out to this podcast and just express their frustration and their fandom and conversation that it goes back to, you know, that slogan a couple years ago, but it was also a slogan during the 2003 Stanley Cup run. It's really us against the world. Devils fans versus Devils fans against the world. Devils fans versus everybody. It really has come down to that. I mean, our backs are to the wall. This team is not doing good. I think the seventh man needs to show up tomorrow night. We need to change the culture. That post-game interviews, from what I've been reading, because I didn't really see it at all, seems like they are dejected. And even the players are out of answers. Omar Hall is now a distraction into this locker room. Look. We're losing right now. I understand the frustration. But I will say, winning does solve everything. Winning does solve everything. So on that note, I think we should close the Woo Report. I'm really happy that you guys showed up for the Woo Report. Wasn't sure if people would get the word that we're doing a kind of like a pop-up podcast, which we're going to be start resurrecting and doing. Also, those are in Facebook Live, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube Live. Let's go Devils. Just keep it classy tomorrow. Keep it positive. We love this team. And thank you for joining the Woo Report in my NPR voice for the first time. I see Joseph Gerald. He just joined. Joey, what happened to our Devils, man? Joe Stinson has joined. You need to let fans call into the podcast. Let me turn down the music and just address that. We'd love to. We've been always looking into that, Michael. But some of the phone systems cost about $15,000 to do it right. I know there's Block Talk Radio, and I know there's a lot of other gadgets out there, but you know, this podcast, we pride ourselves in quality and the way we do things, and we're very methodical and we pay attention to details. So buy more of our t-shirts and maybe that will happen. But first, I think we want that private jet first before taking callers. But yeah, we could take callers, but just remember, it's hard. It's hard to screen fans sometimes. And also remember that when that one stupid fan gets through, one person can really ruin it for all. So, but yeah, yep. You'll hear the rant. Trust me. I know. I know. I know. Well, this may cheer you up. All right, we're going to end the podcast. I got to get to bed. You need to get to bed. You need to rest up for tomorrow's game against the Detroit Red Wings. This isn't funny anymore. This is not funny anymore. We can't have more pitiful losses anymore. The time to win is now. The time is now. I'm tired of looking across the river, and I'm not talking about the Rangers. I'm talking about the Islanders, our very own Lou Lamoriello on fire. I mean, what do you expect? He's great. So, anyway, till next time, Devils fans, let's go Devils.